Hello, welcome back to the channel. So here we are talking about, if I readjust my lights just a bit, there we go. This is a channel update. It's a bit long overdue as far as I'm concerned. I've been trying to get this one done, or thinking about it for a couple of weeks, but I've had quite a lot on, which has meant I haven't been able to actually get in here and film a video or do much modelling. It's been a bit up and down, although I've managed to hit my stride in the last week, so that's good. So, as far as the channel's concerned, there's quite a lot going on in the background. I've got a few videos which are sort of ready to go up, but I was trying to have some stuff in between because I think there's 3 109s and then one Dornier 335. So those, one of the 109 videos has already gone up, BF 109, and then I've got 2 others, and I didn't really want to give you 3 videos of Messerschmitt 109, which would be a bit much. And I was hoping to have some stuff in there to break it up, including a certain other aircraft and a few other little things, but I just haven't been able to get myself organised, so or have the time really. I've had quite a lot, like I said, quite a lot going on. I've been a bit unwell as well for a few weeks, on and off, you know, viruses going around like they are, so fingers crossed. We're through that now, and I should be able to get a good amount of time in here and get some stuff finished and pushed over the line. So we're going to have a look at a few of those things in this video, which I think should be of interest. A couple projects I've got on the go at the minute as well. But first off, I just want to say a massive thank you to you all. Sorry, I'll try not to cough. A massive thank you to everyone because the channel has now got over 30,000 subscribers, which is amazing. I can't believe that we've got to that number. I never would have thought that back in 2017, yes, all those years ago when I started the channel. I thought I'd be lucky to get to 1,000 subscribers, but here we are at 30,000. So very happy with that, very pleased. It's a wonderful achievement for me. In the channel, especially regarding it being this hobby as well, which is quite niche, you know, for YouTube. If you want to be a YouTube channel with lots of subscribers, modelling is probably not the thing to pick. Obviously, there's 1 or 2 exceptions to that, but generally it's not modelling. That's a bit of a niche. So to get any kind of headway is really good, so I'm very happy with that. I'm very pleased that the channel's doing well, and I'm hoping it can continue. And now the next goal, unbelievably, is 40,000 subscribers. So there we are. So again, like I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported the channel and subscribed. And if you're watching this and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I think that's what they say, isn't it? Now, what I've got on the go, I can see behind the camera there are about 4 projects. I would say 4 projects that could be brought over the line if I actually got myself together and push them across the line. So I've got the Airfix Tiger over there, which we'll have a look at in a minute because I've done the tracks. Very slow. God, I tell you, slow process. If you're waiting for that one, that is like done the tracks 2 months later. Oh, painted the tracks. Anyway, I'm getting there slowly. And there's a couple other things as well. I've got a list on the wall behind me, not there, just to the side of it, which has got a few things that I want to do, like some chipping and things, and I can see the models up there ready for just apply the hairspray and put the paint over it and chip it back. It's as simple as that. But these things do become a little bit daunting, so no promises on that, but I am hoping to sort of bring in some armour to the channel, which I think's been missing for a little bit. And we've also got the Stalinets and the Schneider gun, which just needs weathering. And bringing that to a close. So hopefully, like I said, I got 2 weeks off over Christmas, and then quite a bit of time through January really before I start getting sort of busy with work mid to late February. So I'm hoping I can get quite a bit done. As well as all those projects, I've had what I've been focusing on here, which is the LF Models Heinkel 112, which was sent to me by Heinkel, by LF Models. I am getting on with this very nicely. There's a little bit of plasticard here. That is just on one side, that's me being over the top trying to get, oh, I've just seen now there's a lip, I could have just sanded that off. So that was me trying to get the fitment of the we've got the ailerons and the flaps going on, and one side fits very nice, one side it doesn't. I've just seen that there's a little bit of overhang of plastic, which is probably what was causing the issue. So I put in a spacer there, so I'll fill all that in, that'll be fine. And on one side, it just didn't, the wing here, just didn't, the trailing edge, just there, didn't quite fit. There was just a little step. I don't know what was going on there. Probably me, again, not getting the alignment. So I've just filled that in with a bit of plastic card. I'll cut that back, sand it down, you won't know it was ever there. Then it's the tail plane, air scoop, job's done. Everything's cleaned up, ready to go. I've done all the seam lines. I've already had a bit of a check and rescribed everything. So we'll go around, get that done. So I'm hoping that one is going to be coming and be ready early January. We've got some, let's see if I can show you there as well. So the 3D exhausts are in. They're in clear resin. It's a bit difficult to see, but they're very nice indeed. So that one's coming along. I was just waiting to really, a lot of this stuff's actually ready for primer, and in England the last sort of week and a half, 2 weeks has been extremely cold in the southwest. More so, say that if there's any Europeans or Americans watching that, you know, easily get -15 and lower. -5's cold for southwest England, and we've had that prolonged, and because I work with horticulture, we are obviously checking that, and it's very unusual for us to get this sort of prolonged freeze up like this, but everything's been frozen every night, icing over again at sort of 3 in the afternoon before it's getting dark. So it's been quite an unusual spell for us, and because of that I didn't really want to do any spraying. One, I didn't want to open the window in here, especially as, like I said, I've been a bit unwell, and two, I don't like spraying when it's extreme conditions. It's very, very hot, very, very cold. So that's all. Luckily, good news is it's going to rain tomorrow. Good old England. There we are. 10-degree change in the temperatures. So that's brilliant. So I will be getting things like this across the line and primed so I can start checking seams. So that's on the go. Behind us, I'm going to move us around in a minute and we'll have a look at the other bench, which you'll see one of the big projects I've just got to finish the build to the primer stage. So just waiting for primer. It's actually been there about a week. And we've got another project that's running alongside that as well. So I've just been building things as I've had the chance to do that. The project I've got here is quite a nice one. I just picked this up when I was at Jadlam in Glastonbury. I go there too often and I spend too much money when I do. It's a Sherman, the Dragon Sherman 2, and I have actually gone quite sort of in depth with this to try and I've found all the photos I can find. I've got about 13-14 photos of these types, and they're kind of like, if you think of it like a Tiger, for instance, you've got like the early, mid, late, and then you have the initial. So if you think of that as Shermans, these are like the initials. So the first sort of 200 being built, sent off to an American unit, then taken from the American unit and sent over to the desert for the British forces to take part in the Battle of El Alamein in 1942. So I've been going all over, and this is a Lima Locomotive Works build. So that's one of the first 200, and that meant that they've got a welded hull. So I've taken off some of the rivets and bolt heads. It gets, like, this kit comes with lots of rivets, if you can see underneath there, look. So I've left them because you're not going to look at that, but that was all up the side, so I've taken all them off. Also tail light guards, for instance. The Lima ones had a quite unique tail light guards. Can you see there? There's a bit of a twist. I made them out of scratch, etch, and got that done, and it's been very enjoyable. Gone around the back, added a few little bits and bobs that most people aren't going to see. I only started this, I was trying to think, this is Saturday when I'm filming this. It wasn't even Saturday. I think it might have even been Sunday or even Monday. So it's come together very quickly because, like I said, I have had a bit of time. I've got the 3D light guards going on, and as I was told by Mike in the club that I'm part of, put them on last. He's talking from experience, quite right. I've only used extra thin, actually melted to plastic for those. I know they're resin, but it's glued them on. It's been enough to hold them. So that's coming on very nicely, and I'm just in the final throes really. I've got to sort out, I've had to change, like, you get getting in depth in this now, but you get photo etch side fenders. This is one with sand shields. It just turns out these are the sort of later war ones where they got that groove there, and then they've also got bolts along the top. That wasn't on the early one, so I've scratched it out of plastic. So I've just copied the dimensions and made it out of plastic card. So we've got front and back fenders, we've got a massive set of etch. That's the scheme we're going to be doing down there, which is very nice, which is the 9th Lancers, El Alamein. So I'm on the last page here, bar the tracks and the wheels, which are simple enough to do. So we're going to put on fenders all around, as you can see. And then we've got the side rail as well, and I've got a load of stowage to go on there. So it should be a nice project. Really enjoying that. Couple of accuracy issues depending on which one you're building. So that's what I've had quite a lot of fun actually, going through and working out what those are. So there's a good build on Brit Modeler, and then there's another good site that's got a lot of stuff listed. So between the two I've been able to work that out. And then just because if that wasn't enough work in itself, and going along with what I'm about to show you behind there, where I've already built, spoiler alert, 3 Jeeps, I thought, well, hell, let's get, I think, what, when was this? 2019's Christmas present from my parents, I think it was. The Mini Art Bantam. So we're going to do that scheme there, which actually ties in with the other Jeeps that I've got, we'll have a look at in a minute. And that is going to look very nice. Now, whether these two things would have ever met, it is the 1st Armoured Division HQ unit. Maybe they would have gone to the 2nd Armoured Brigade. I don't know, who knows. But we're going to say they did. And we're going to do some figures that are in there. Only a couple of sprues, photo etch, and fantastically, instrument dials. If any manufacturers out there and you're doing a vehicle, for goodness sake, put the dials and the placards and anything else that was put into these vehicles on the decal sheet. It's fantastic. Well done, Mini Art. Very happy with that. So that is something I've been working on this week, which I'm really liking. I'm going to try and bring a scene together. There is a famous photograph of, funny enough, it's actually on here. It is the 2nd Armoured Brigade. See? So there we are. That one there. This one talking to a Jeep. So that's what was kind of inspired by, which I'm going to go for. But it's nice to build a Dragon kit. I don't know if I've actually ever done one on... yes, I have. Long time ago on the channel. A little Panzer I Command tank. So that's been going on. I've also got some stuff really close, which I wish I do now, looking at it. I wish I just pushed on and got this done. It's it can be so silly sometimes. Put all these things in front, as you may notice from what I'm showing you. I'm trying to, what's the word? Not really, not cleanse or purge. I'm trying to sort of reset. I do a lot of German stuff. I find myself going down the route of German aircraft, German tanks, and it's not actually my main interest. It's something I get pulled into because I find it very interesting. But I like the British stuff. I always have. I like British tanks, British aircraft, and I like to focus on that. But there you go. Germans, the German stuff has a way of getting into your mind now and again. So with that, I built this. It's all filmed right up to this stage. I've actually got the first video is ready to go, but I didn't want to release it because this has been a long time in the coming. I finished the building of this kit a year and a half ago, and then got it painted the end of sort of this summer, and I still haven't got it finished. So what this is a scene is BEF in France, May 1940. So that's what that Vickers Mark 6, we're going to go for Mark 6, is depicting. And I've got figures to go with it. This is the Vulcan models. Weird little company, didn't last very long, but they did give us an injection molded Vickers Mark 6. So I don't care about anything else. Thank you very much for doing that. I've got 3 figures from the set I'm about to show you in a minute. Yes, 3. Here we are. 1, 2, and 3. So they are going to be at rest, basically leant up against the tank, thinking, oh dear, where the hell is Dunkirk? We better make our way to it fast. It's kind of inspired a little bit by the story I think the Tank Museum said during lockdown when they were doing their sort of impromptu chats about one of these getting lost behind enemy lines. Good bit of British humour and ingenuity and just hell, let's go for it. joining a German column of tanks and plodding along for a good few miles, pretending to be a German tank before being rumbled and shooting off through the hedgerow and actually making it back to the beach, getting on a ship and getting away from Dunkirk. So that is the sort of thing as to why I like doing British subjects, because it just makes me laugh thinking about them. I was looking at the wooden bomb the other day as well. If you don't know, look it up. It's very funny. The wooden bomb that the Brits dropped in Holland. Very, very funny. So that's hopefully going to come across. I've got the wooden sides on. So how I do the base is, this is styrofoam, as they call it. And then I go over the top, sort of shape the base. So we're going to have the road and then a hedgerow. So very much like Normandy, only 4 years before. Hedgerow like that. Little, I've got a little sort of cutaway there, which you always get, like a ditch, which I'll turn into. And then that's kind of the idea, is they're just sort of shielding behind that, working out what they're doing. Nice little scene. And then to edge them, I either with plasticard or balsa wood in this instance, I get load of sort of offcuts of balsa wood, just fit it around, and then I fill in all the unsightly bits once it's super glued in. This bit here, just with wood glue, wood filler, and then sand it back, paint it black, and then mask that off. Job done. Paint the top. There we are. We're away. So that's something I am hoping, again, I can get done through January, because I really want that to be done. I really want to see it. It is like the thing when I go to model shows, the sort of thing I look at. A BEF little vignette is just so up my street. It is not true. So that's the plan here. That's the sort of thing that's currently going on in my mind that I'm sort of thinking about. So I'm now just going to swing us around to the other bench, we'll have a look at what I've been working on, and then bring this rambling video to an end, I think. So here we are. This is the main thing I've been working on for probably over 3 weeks. This is probably taken to get to this point. This is the Dragon SAS set, where you get 3 Jeeps and all the guys to go with it. Heavily inspired by the Rogue Heroes. However, I am very much enjoying this book at the minute to actually get the proper story. So I'm not going off just the TV show. TV show's really nice, really inspired. Only bought this last Saturday. That's good for me. I absolutely flown through this book. Can't wait to read it. Going to do another couple chapters in a minute. So yeah, really interesting story. Absolutely, again, just makes you sort of the daring, you know, and the audacity of it. It's a very British thing. So the Dragon kit is really nice. Typical Dragon. It's like it's all their Jeep kits over the year put together, really. So some of it's very old, some of it's brand new. So the detail is really good to okay, but they've got a few things wrong, and I've had to modify quite a lot of this actually. So these racks in the back actually were too long. So you get all the jerry cans, he says. Well, yeah, you get 36 and you need 38 or whatever it is. You get 38 and you need 40. Typical Dragon, so you're too short. But one thing I have got is plenty of jerry cans, so I just chucked a couple of Tamiya ones in there. It's mainly US jerry cans, but there are a couple. You get 6 German jerry cans as well, I think, because they are often used. Well, more so. I've also used a bit of stowage that I've got there as well, and I've the 2 sets that have been delivered. They're at my parents', which is the mini art set for the British stowage. So I'm going to add a bit of that onto these Jeeps as well. But there's a lot of bags here that hang off the side. Tommy helmets, as you can see. I wouldn't mind getting a couple of ammo boxes. That's something I haven't been able to find. You also get very nice photo etch. I forget what they're called. They're for getting out of sand. What are they called? Anyway, the things you put under wheels to get you out of boggy ground. You get an engine as well. They kind of build it up on the chassis. So you build up the chassis. This is the figures here. I should have moved that. In fact, I will. Look, there we go. I'll move them. So you build this up on a chassis. You stick your engine on, and then this drops onto that quite nicely. And then your wheels go on as well. And there you go. That builds up the Jeep, which is very nice. It's a nice little setup. You do also get decals for the instrument dials and the placards, so that's very nice. I've added the wire to the water tank there as well at the front, so we've got the wire there for the water tank. It's the extra for the radiator, and there you can see the level of detail. Very nice. So working out the kind of paint pattern is actually, luckily he says, I went and bought all the British desert colours a long time ago. So they're basically this colour, desert pink, and then there is an excerpt of one of the chaps who was working on them as part, because they're kind of with the LRDG, the Long Range Desert Group, and the SAS. They're kind of being ferried about by the LRDG at this kind of time, and then they're working closely afterwards. Once you get to these Jeeps, they're kind of working near each other, but not so much being ferried about all the time. But they're heavily influenced. So the LRDG are using this kind of free tone paint scheme, which in fact actually is pretty much this. So that's really what they look like, because the story goes, the chap went in and painted this in one of the units, one of the warehouses, and this sort of garish scheme was put on, and out they went, and it just blended right into the desert. So it looked absolutely ridiculous to drive them through the desert. That was picked up. There's a bit of a discussion on Brit Modeler, and there's something else. There's a guy called Mike Starmer who knows a lot about it. There's another great website. I'll put all this in the video when I do it as well. There's a very good website. There's a lot of profiles written out as well, where you can see the different colours of the Chevy trucks and the Jeeps and things. So it's very interesting. So it's really a mix of these and a sky blue. I've just gone for the ROM 76, and that's mainly because that's almost identical to the RAF light blue colour as well. I just don't happen to have it, but it's a base coat of desert pink, and then it's light stone silver grey, kind of the contour scheme colours, but again actually having blue this time rather than not, you know, the old picture of the Matilda where it's blue and it's not apparently. So yeah, but it's kind of like rose pink, like brick colour, you know, like pastel. They're all pastel shades. So I'm going to spray all of them up. I was going to do a bit of chipping, but because I'm going to be using lacquers, I'll just chip afterwards. So I'll do brush chipping rather than hairspray chipping is what I was talking about. So there we go. And for a bit of difference, I'll spray up some of these, some of the German ones, probably do a German grey and maybe one of the German desert colours as well, and leave that on there, because I'm sure they wouldn't have repainted them if they were using them just straight up. And I'm going to do the figures as well, so they do sort of sit in quite nicely, as you can see. So it's a reasonably long project, but very enjoyable. So I'm not worried about that so much. I'm quite happy to spend a bit of time doing this, and you know, if it takes a long time to get a video done, then because I've been stung in the past, even with things like this, of showing you stuff like this and everyone goes, yeah, can't wait to watch the video, and then 2 years later I still not put the video out, makes me feel a little bit silly, never mind what everyone else thinks. So I'll be working on this in the background. I will get these done, I'll get them to an end, but there might be things coming in and out. I've got an aircraft, I'm going to do a bow fighter down the line, which I'm doing for a group build with a local club, so that's got to be done by April. And some out of the box tanks as well. I might do the Tamiya Valentine just out of the box, inspired by the gold winning model that was seen at that I saw at Scale Model World. Out of the box, couldn't believe it. Out of the box, absolutely stunning kit that was. So there we are. I will say I was going to show you the Tiger, so we'll end on this. This is the state of the Airfix Tiger. So there we are, the good old Tiger. Everyone loves the shape and the iconic image of the Tiger. So this is Master Club metal tracks that have been put on here, and they're okay. Haven't built Master Club before. The details generally very good. The way you put them together, not so, because they've got resin pins and they're a bit of an annoyance. They would have been fine, but and again, I've spoken to the chap at Telford, and he pulled a face when I said, oh, all I've done is Fruli Modelismo ones before, and he said, oh, I feel bad for you. Well, unfortunately, these were the same. You had to clean as many of these as you would for the Fruli tracks, which I was quite surprised at, because everyone talks, I mean, there's a bit of flash there, look. Everyone talks about how great the Master Club ones are. Well, I can't tell a difference, other than them having resin pins, which to me seemed a bit silly because I had to drill out the holes. So as you're trying with the resin pins, if they don't fit, they break. Of course, they're resin. But there we are. They're on now. They're nice enough, and they're okay for what they are. You know, well, it's just metal tracks. They've all got similar problems. But yeah, I was gonna drill them all out from the kit, and I thought, well, who's got time for that? So there we are. That's them, and that's the tank painted, and I've done the camo. So all this really needs now is the tools picked out, the tracks with the burnishing fluid that I'm going to try as well, which my friend Dan has said the best way to do that is to paint it on. So I'm going to try that rather than trying to dip them in it. And then we'll see how we go. But again, no promises, because this has been laid up for 2 years now. But it will, you know, slow things. They're all moving in the right direction. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed this video, and it's a bit rambly, but you know, I think as many people like it as don't. So there you are. Let's hope there's a happy medium. So stay tuned to the channel. As I said, there's plenty coming. If you like what you see and you haven't already, do consider subscribing to the channel. If you like Brit tanks, well, I've got a few coming down the line, so hopefully you stay tuned for that. And I hope you all have a very good Christmas. And if you don't get a video from me after Christmas, before the new year, I hope you have a good new year too. See you in the next video.